They're back my little pomegranate that I've been growing from seed since late 2016. You can see it looks alright here last April. I just repotted it before this video, and it's already grown enough that I can trim it. This tree has a lot of energy and it's a pretty aggressive grower. You'll see I end up pruning it quite a lot throughout this growing season. If you watched the last couple of videos on this tree, you'll see by the end of this video it has really started to come along nicely. The playlist is always in the description if you need to go back and watch anything. As you can see in May, the tree is ready for another trim. It really is a fast grower. It does live under the grow light for most of the year, which is probably why it's so fast. It's only ever lived in this small pot, so I can only imagine how thick it would be if it had been in a bigger pot. But I only have space for this and doing alright so far. I'll give you one guess what's going to happen in June. It's absolutely going to get another prune. All this pruning is really going to help build ramification and take this from a little stick into a little bush. You'll probably notice branches going in all different directions and it can look a bit scruffy, but I'm not too worried. Within time I'll prune these back or I'll just wire it into a better position. So it's fine if it's a bit messy for now. And of course July is the same. I'll spare you the pruning, I think you've got the idea of what's happening now. In August it's ready for another prune, but I'm actually going to leave it now. I've obviously pruned it quite a lot so far this season. It's going to have some decent ramification developed over the last few months, but now I'm just going to let it grow wild, and all that new growth should help thicken up the trunk in autumn. Usually you should do one or the other in a season, but this is so aggressive I can sort of get away with doing both. It means I can spend some time building ramification and end thickness all in the same year. You can see in October it's gone crazy. It's probably slowing down now, but letting all those new shoots from all that new ramification grow out is really going to help build thickness, which is what you need when you've got a small pot. By November it's finally stopped, and you can see it's dropping its leaves. In December it's dropped them all, and I'll put it in the shed over winter to get a proper chill. In late February I brought it back inside, and we can truly see how out of control this is. The amount of growth it's put on is just amazing. So it needs pruned back. There's a lot of straight and long bits, so they need to go. There's also a lot of crossing stuff and things that are just in weird places. Some of this growth is also a bit too thick now, so it'll need to go too. Basically, I'm just going to take this back quite hard. It might seem kind of drastic, but it's what you've got to do sometimes. This year it'll put on loads of new growth and I'll just keep pruning it back. If you just repeat this over and over and over again, you really start to get a nice little tree. And here we are after. I'm not too sure about that top piece, but it'll stay for now. In March it's looking amazing, but more importantly the buds are starting to open, and maybe a few days slow here, because these are pretty much already open, but I'm sure it'll be fine. They just swelled up super fast and opened before I got to them, but I'll be fine. So here you can see the soil that's started to rise out of the pot. That means there's going to be a whole lot of roots in here. There are so many that start to push the whole tree up out of the pot. Anyway, I started by getting the moss off, and well, it came out of the pot pretty easily, but then I guess it already was halfway out, so I'm not really that surprised. As you can see, it's an absolute block of roots. This is going to take some work to rake out. Can you see that thing right in the centre where the pothole was? It's a little slug. He must have climbed into the pot when it was in the shed, so he needs to go. I then just raked out all the soil and it took forever. Oh, there's a drainage screen. It was deeply buried in there. After a while I was left with this. You can really see how long and crazy those roots are. I then just start trimming back. The roots are coming along nicely, so it doesn't need an extreme prune, but I will still take it back pretty hard. This little root here is very high compared to the rest, so I'm just going to remove that. I then took a lot off the bottom and just really anything else I didn't quite like. And then I was left with this. So there was a lot removed, but really there is still quite a lot of roots left on this. So I'm pretty happy with it. You can see the flare of the base is looking pretty good, it's really coming along. I've only ever grown in that little pot. It's actually pretty amazing. And of course I put it back in the little blue pot, as I don't have anything else, or any space. So it's just going to have to stay in there a little longer. But that's okay, it'll just kind of show us all what can actually be achieved when you use a small pot. And here we are now. I'm still not too sure about the top, but for now it's staying. Apart from that, it's looking pretty good. Now it's all ready for the season, it's ready to repeat everything that's just happened in this video. I pretty much do the exact same this coming year. Thanks for watching, see you next time.